It was just a thought of, right, I'm going to go back and face the music.
So you get on
and
a
see
plane.
what happens. Oh, yeah. Well, when I was in Thailand, what decided it was a friend of mine who hired the car for me. He got raided, and that was the deciding moment. And this guy was a really, really nice, posh, like not posh, but just really nice. Never got involved in crime. And his house got raided by soccer, and they don't go lightly, do they? And it was like, shit.
Soccer?
So, yeah, serious organised crime agency, which I think they're the national crime agency now. I think they're like a business, just go bust every time. But I think they're all handpicked, aren't they? They're not police officers anymore. They're handpicked, and I think they're civil servants. I'm only finding out through your paperwork, but they're the squeakiest clean, the best of the best sort of. I think they go around the world training these police forces now. So yeah, they was in charge of the case. They was the ones who. Now, once I get the paperwork, I find out all of this, but they were the ones in charge of the case. And our case starts like you've opened the middle of a book. Like one of your books, you open the middle and you think, what the hell? And it's literally a meeting in Waltham Abbey with this Colombian guy saying, right, hello, blah, blah, blah. The Colombian guy's like, oh, here's a phone number, ring that. And they're like, you're not here to pick the drugs up. We've got the drugs here. So what the fuck happened before? But then they said there was a thing called a PPI, which is a public protection or PPI? Public Protection Investigation. So they was protecting somebody. But my barrister said that he seems to think that they've arrested importers and then they've just become the importers. And then just, the importers obviously said, I'll give you, I can, if you let me off or whatever. We still don't know to this day what happened before then. But it opened in the middle of a book.
So you're on the flight back home?
Yeah, on a flight back home, sitting next to an Australian kid, and he's never been to England, about my age, chatting away. I'm telling him, go to Wimbledon, because it was sort of like June when I got arrested. And so the job all happened March. I dropped the money off, and then the drugs were picked up, and the guy in the van was jackknifed on the motorway in June the 22nd, I think, and then June, and then I got arrested in June. April the 22nd, the drug job was, and then I got arrested in June. So I'm on the airplane, come back, chatting to this Australian kid, telling him everything, do this, do that, and go to this place, go to that place, and he's loving it, and we're chatting away, and I didn't really go out in London. I was quite, stayed around my area, but I'm telling him these places, and I always was interested at something in historical places to go, not like nightclubbing like young people should do. I'm like an old man in a young bloke's body. And we're sitting away chatting. I remember the woman sitting there, a bit older than me, and a bit of turbulence. We're looking at each other. Oh, that one was the big one. And then we've landed, and they've said, we've all got up, and they've said, can everybody sit back in their seats? No, can everybody sit back in their own seats for health and safety reasons? Come over on a tunnel. And I'm thinking, I've been on enough flights to know, fuck. And there's still a part of you thinks it might not be for me. I don't know why. I'll find out later on. I'll leave that to telling the story. I'll find out later on my kids are outside and my mum's outside waiting for me. Anyway, so I've sat back down the seat, I've put the earphones on, and I still remember it. Do you know that song English Country Garden? I'm listening to that, and I'm opening my eyes and I'm thinking, right, what's going on? And then all of a sudden, two officers in uniform have come on, and then two plainclothes officers have come on. And air hostess is pointing over to my area, and I'm thinking, oh, it is me. Do you know, and you think, even then, you're thinking, no, it is me. And the plainclothes police officers have come down the aisle and said, are you Frank Stedman? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, you're nicked. And I was thinking in my head, no shit. But me knowing I'm not aggressive or anything like that, I've stood up, and this is what I can't stress to people so much. I was a normal, happy-go-lucky kid a couple of years before. And then, we had shit maybe with losing the house, and I was pretty naughty at school, but I was a happy-go-lucky kid. So I've stood up from my seat, and bloke stuck the gun in my head, get back in your seat. And do you know, you think you're a normal kid a couple of years before, and you're sitting in an aeroplane with a gun at your head. That is how easy. I can't explain to, and I know every time you turn the news on at the moment, some kids, I think recently, the other day, some 15-year-old stabbed another 15-year-old to death. Like, you can't explain, within a couple of years of a couple of bad choices, you've got a gun at your head. So, my little aeroplane's fucking erupted. This poor Australian kid sitting there thinking, what the fuck?
All the passengers are watching.
We've sat on an aeroplane and it was a straight flight from Thailand. So we've been chatting for a long time. And the poor lovely woman sitting next to me screaming, and I'm like, I'm just getting my bag. But the soccer agent put his hand on the bloke's shoulder, and the bloke's lowered his gun. I said, I'm just getting my bag. And then the lady soccer agent has said, I'll get it for you. And we've walked off. And then they've stopped me at the end of the aeroplane, mentally checking my pants, thinking, have I shit myself? And so I've stopped off the aeroplane, and they've stopped. So we've got off the aeroplane, they've stopped me, and then everyone's come off the aeroplane and walked past me. And I'm looking at the floor thinking, do you know, I'm embarrassed. I'm not one of these people who thinks they're hard for getting fucking arrested. I'm looking at the floor thinking, close your eyes. And I'm looking up and there's still people walking past and I'm handcuffed. And then we're walking out, and only good thing, get arrested in the airport, you don't queue. Didn't queue up, straight through. And we're walking out, and I said, we went to immigration, and I said they said, give them your address. And I said to this was the airport police, I haven't got an address. And he's, I think he swore, he said, you're immigration, mate, you've got to give a fucking address. And he sort of put my back up a bit. And I said, mate, it looks like I'm going to prison anyway, so what do you need an address for? I said, I've been in Thailand for a few months, and I was living off my mate's sofas, because I used to have an address a year ago, but I've moved out from there. So I'll give my mum's address and a mate's address. I was sleeping on the sofa, that was really bad, because he was having a massive family wedding, and the soccer's gone round there, and his dad's picked family up from Singapore, pulled up to his house, and there's police all over his fucking house. You think, and still to this day, I don't think the parents forgive me for that. He's a good mate, but do you think they've pulled up and there's fucking, and even now you think to yourself, what a fucking idiot. All this shit you've caused over a bit of money. That's all it's for, it's a bit of money, which, anyway.
If you are looking for a harrowing, hard-hitting Christmas read as a gift for somebody, my latest book, I've written 17. This is part of a free book series. Latest one, third in the installment, Sit-Downs with Serial Killers and Murderers. Link in the description box below this video. From the back, having gained a rep for earning the trust of some of the world's most dangerous people, Shaun delves into his most hard-hitting interviews with the most menacing and violent murderers he's ever met. From serial killers to brutal prison gangs, Shaun has collected his most fascinating and incredible conversations with shocking criminal figures. He explores the life of an armed robber, a man who spent 45 years behind bars, and a serial killer with 52 confirmed victims. That's Delmas Colvin. I had to listen to that podcast again the next day. It disturbed my sleep. It's the most chilling one I've ever done, I would say, was interviewing Delmas in prison where he's serving life. If you're interested in these books, we appreciate your support. Links will be in the description box below this video if you watch on YouTube. Cheers.